What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another predicted lineup. We travel to Vitesse in Holland tomorrow for the Europa Conference League game, our third game of the group stage, and it's going to be interesting to see what lineup we do put out, because Nuno has already said in his press conference that all 11 players that started against Newcastle will be left at home. So we are rerunning the Passos game, it looks like, in terms of personnel and what have you. But in terms of injury news, Sim, let's get into that.
Yeah, so it looks like, well, we had a raft of doubts and injuries last week and COVID situations or whatever, but it looks like at the moment just Sessegnon and Doherty who remain unavailable for Thursday's trip to Vitesse. So that's really, really positive. The squad's coming back together and it gives Nuno a lot more options.
Definitely. So let's get into the predicted lineup. We're going for a 4-2-3-1 formation as usual. In goal, Pierluigi Golini, seeing as Lloris has been left at home. It'll be Golini in goal, and backup will be probably Brandon Austin. Well, he's actually on loan, isn't he, Brandon Austin? Oh no, Alfie Whiteman's on loan, so Brandon Austin will probably be on the bench. Right back, we're going to look at Japhet Tanganga. Emerson is going to be left at home, and Doherty's injured, so Tanganga's our only option, literally.
And Tanganga's back from false allegations against him.
Ridiculous.
So, it was ridiculous, but yeah, Tanganga will definitely play.
Next to him in the centre-back position, we're going to go for Davinson Sanchez. Like I said before, I'm going to keep mentioning it, but Romero and Dyer have been left at home, so our only two options are Sanchez and Joe Rodon, so both of them are going to go straight in on this one. And call them to have a really good partnership. I mean, I'm impressed with Rodon so far, kind of, whenever he's called upon. Sanchez is obviously very hit and miss, but so far this season, I mean, in the last couple of games, Sanchez hasn't been that great, but all in all, he's been okay this season, hasn't he?
Yeah, he obviously had a poor game when we played on the left-hand side of defence against Wolves on the left centre back. But I think in general, he has started the season impeccably well. He was brilliant in the early parts of the season. So it's all about trying to recapture that form, and obviously the games will help. But though, you know, he came start the season really strong when he was in the team for Colombia and apparently had a very good Copa America, and now he's out the team. And whether that correlates because, you know, he's out the team at Spurs, I'm not sure, but I'm sure that might have damaged his confidence and he needs to get it back from himself, because he's definitely a confidence defender. You know, when like he's not very confident, he starts being really uncomposed and starts making more mistakes, so he needs that confidence back. Yeah,
and there was those stories that he came back from the summer really confident because all these teams were after him and what have you, and that showed on the pitch, didn't it? And now he's out the team. Remains to be seen how he's going to get on. But Sanchez is going to play. He's going to play alongside Joe Rodon, like I mentioned. And Joe Rodon just needs the minutes, doesn't he?
Yeah, peculiarly just not involved at all, really. Since I don't think he's had hasn't had a start yet, has he? Since Nuno, except for
he came on after 15 minutes against Palace because of Dyer's injury.
Has he had a start in the Conference League? I can't remember. Maybe in the because in the Passos away game, I don't think he was starting that game. I can't
remember off the top of my head, to be honest.
So he hasn't started too many games, Rodon. So it'll be good to see him again, and he needs another player who needs a positive performance because he just can't get a look in at the moment.
Yeah. And then the left back is going to be Ben Davies, back from his illness, and obviously he's the only one that can play as well, seeing as Reguilon's going to be left at home and Sessegnon is not fit to play. So this back four is pretty much the only back four we can play.
Picks itself.
Literally the only back four we can play. So let's run through that back line with you one more time. So that's Golini in goal, Tanganga right back, Sanchez and Rodon in the centre-back positions, and Davis left back. Let's look at the double pivot, and everyone's favourite player, we're going to put in Harry Winks. Again, probably one of the only options we can play, seeing as Højbjerg and Skip are going to be left at home.
Yeah, apparently Noel John and Harvey White were both training with the first team alongside Dylan Markanda actually as well, which we'll get into later. But he's a senior player. He hasn't played since wasn't even Mura. Did he play against Mura?
Yeah,
Mura. He hasn't played since playing against Mura, so I expect him to start in this game.
Alongside Winks, we're going to go for Giovanni Lo Celso. He had a fairly good game against Mura, well, really good game against Mura, let's be honest, and call on him to repeat that performance and get better. I am slightly worried about a double pivot of Lo Celso and Winks, though.
Slightly worried, but hopefully if we can dominate possession, it could be our benefit instead of a weakness. So he looks so much better in the centre, Lo Celso. I'm prefer to see him a bit maybe in this kind of game a bit further forward, but we've got other options for this one. So Lo Celso will start in the pivot with Winks, I think.
And in the number 10 position, we're going to go for Dele Alli. In terms of Lo Celso and Dele Alli in these formations, do you think maybe we could swap them? Maybe Dele Alli a bit deeper, seeing as like that's his kind of role at the moment and doesn't impact things anything going forward.
I just think Lo Celso is more comfortable there in the centre than Dele Alli is, and he's more comfortable progressing the ball forward and on the ball, like being attacked, like knitting things together. Where Dele will just be too frustrating. So, and also Lo Celso can do that combative stuff. So I think he's more comfortable there for me.
All right, so that's a middle three of Lo Celso, Winks, and Dele. On the flanks, we're going to go for Bergwijn. On the right-hand side. So Bergwijn on the right-hand side, and Nuno has already confirmed that he is definitely going to be starting.
Yeah, which is really positive. He needs the minutes after being injured for Holland, and then obviously he was rushed back for Tottenham. So I'm glad he's going to be part of the team again, and we need Bergwijn. Because if he with a informed Bergwijn, it gives us another really good option up front. We need him to start firing, and hopefully it's a good opportunity for him to regain some fitness.
Yeah, so Bergwijn on the right. Up front is going to be Dane, Scarlett, Son and Kane, both going to be left at home. So he's literally our only option again.
Yeah, he has to play, I guess. I'm not going to hold my breath. Last time I was really excited about him starting what he can do. This time I have to manage your expectations because he hasn't really shown yet that he's ready for this kind of level. But obviously I'm happy he's getting another go, and hopefully he can maybe start to adjust to how to play against these big centre backs who I think physically just have the edge on him at the moment.
And then on the left hand side, that makes up the current 11, is going to be Bryan Gil. Obviously he was one of the alongside Sonny with those false positives last week, just before the Newcastle game, but he's going to come straight into this one, and everyone's very excited to see him, aren't they?
Yeah, always happy to see Bryan Gil on the pitch, and we don't have too many options. Mora, Son and Kane all saved for the weekend, so he has to start, and I think again the more minutes the better for players like Gil and Bergwijn and probably even Scarlett in this kind of scenario, and maybe with them all being left at home and some youngsters on the bench, maybe we might see finally the likes of Dylan Markande get a run out. That would be really interesting if we do, because he's killing it at the moment in the PL2. And it'll be intriguing to see if he does get a run out what he can do against his opposition, because it'll be a very good test for him.
Yeah, definitely. And it's worth noting with Gil and Bergwijn, I mean, it could be either or, right or left. So they'll probably be mixing and matching throughout the game anyway, won't they?
Yeah.
But that is our lineup. Let's run through it one more time. Galini in goal, Tanganga right back, Davis left back, Rodon and Sanchez in the centre-back positions, Lo Celso and Winks in the double pivot with Dele just a bit ahead, with Gil on the left, Bergwijn on the right and Dane Scarlett up top. I think it's a team that pretty much picks itself with what Nuno said in his press conference. So what scoreline are you going for?
I'm going to go with 2-1 Spurs, shading
2-1 Spurs.
it. I'll hopefully we get a couple of goals maybe from Lo Celso and Bergwijn, and we keep it tight in the back. And I can't see us keeping a clean sheet. I think it'll be a very difficult game, but I'm going to go for us to shade it 2-1.
I'm actually going to go for 2-2, you know. I think that we've seen so far in the Conference League when we play these kind of teams, as in the team that we're going to play on the pitch as the Spurs team, it's hard for us to put a proper performance together when we've got literally our whole starting 11 left at home, especially with not many players on the bench can come on to impact the game. So I think we're going to struggle in this game, but hopefully we see a good performance from some of the fringe players out there and we can get a win. But I think it's going to be a draw this game. And in terms of the makeup of the group, a draw is not the end of the world.
No, as long as we win our home, this is our second away game, so we've got 2 more home games to come. So as long as we win them, we'll be all right, won't we?
Yeah, exactly. So that is our predicted lineup. That is our predicted scorelines. Let me know your predicted lineup and predicted scorelines in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.